All right, welcome in everybody to the Big Matt Podcast channel. We got some big news right here, the big story reaction to Season 4, Episode 4. Man, what a thriller it was. Wow. We're going to talk about some different headlines of this and go through it one-on-one and just do it together. And that's kind of like the way we like to do it. So let's put it up on the screen here and we'll go through our topics. All right, today we're going to talk about Times Are Changing clip. I'm going to talk about faith among his own, having, troops of the kingdom. These are some questions maybe the disciples ask. And a real hard part in watching there towards the end of this, the weight of the world right there in front of him. But also, was it the weight of others? Okay.
Doesn't seem so much like wisdom to me, as much as a feeling in my gut.
A good feeling?
I can't describe it.
Try.
Lately, I don't even know what to say.
Hold on. You've been saying things about when you're gone more frequently.
You've told us that you must suffer many things at the hands of the elders and chief priests. Those people are not in Capernaum.
You're not.
So that means that we'll be on the move soon.
Sorry, when did you say? It's true. We'll head south toward Jerusalem. We'll leave Capernaum. Time has come. Things will no longer be simple.
Wow. That's a really touching part there to kind of start this out, he's telling him that he says he has a feeling, I can't really explain it. And I could define that as saying the Holy Spirit is working in him, letting him know that his studies of Christ's words that he's been giving him along the way, that these things that you're going to have to go through, they're not going to happen here. And he asks him, leans in kind of jokingly and says, well, when? Soon. And it's something that Christ is going to deal with all through this episode, and it's going to build up to other things as faith among his own men, when they just study the written word is all they know. Also, being troops of the kingdom, what does that mean? And last of all, the weight of the world. So thank you guys for coming by. Hey, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up for the video. Subscribe to the channel too. I appreciate it. Try to help me hit 100 today, man. I'd really appreciate it. And comment in the section, please. I enjoy comments, and let me know names of some of these leaders. And it's interesting to me to learn along with you guys too. So let's jump on in here and let's just continue right on. Okay, yeah, let's set this clip up for you. General has come back to the house there with Matthew and Peter, and he has spilled his guts to say right there in his office. He cheated on his wife, and he had a child out of wedlock, and the child is crippled. But he feels terrible about it, and he's repenting for it, and he's ready to move on from it. And he believes that Christ is the Messiah. He said he's seen too much. He's been around town during all these teachings, and he's seen it. And he's kind of warning them too that I'm going to let you do this stuff, but you've got to keep it outside the edge of town or you're going to get me in trouble too. So after spilling his story to him, he's excited, hugs the guys. Well, he hugs Peter. Matthew's kind of recluse, and he wants to go see Jesus and ask him about healing his son. And all the faith that this man carries, a Gentile, people that could care less of most of those soldiers of what the Jews do or how they worship, they really just don't care. They're just there to keep order. Basically, all they're really there to do. So let's get over here in the clip. Let's hit the play button. Let's just listen to Jesus talk here. Man, they are just the disciples are really starting to learn right now.
Did you all hear this, man? Truly, I tell you, with no one in Israel have I found such faith. I was rejected in my own hometown, and I'm threatened by the religious leaders of my own people. And yet this man, a Gentile, has more bold confidence in what he believes that I can do than anyone I have yet encountered. Go. It has been done for you according to your belief.
Wow. There's another good one, man. That's just, we're going to have a lot of those wow moments, you know. Go. It's been done into accordance of your belief. Now, in what he was saying, you know, let's give a little bit of precedent in what's going on here. Okay. Now remember, Christ went to Jewish school there and learned from all the Sadducees and all the scribes. And there's a story that Christ taught some of the elders when he was 8. And there's also an idea of thinking that Mary's father was also one of the high rabbis in the temple. So they all know each other very well. And he's just saying, guys, we've all been buddies forever. And this guy don't even really know me, but he believes. And his faith is going to heal his son. So why is it so hard for you to understand these teachings that I'm telling you? And the answer to that is they've been following writings and books and laws and rules. You don't have to have much faith just to read something and do it. You know, you don't. Seeing and believing. And the faith part is not seeing. And people now that have studied and have trouble in their faith because they're not able to see Jesus. They can't see the miracles. And we ask all the times, like we ask in one of the other reaction videos of this, you know, well, you know, if Jesus was real and, you know, God's real, then, you know, just strike me down $10,000. Just put it in my account right now. Well, then you're worshiping for the wrong reason. You're trying to treat him like he's a genie in a bottle or something, you know, just to make all your wishes come true. And that's not at all the reason that he came. It's to believe in him. For whosoever calls upon the name of the Lord and repents and believes it in their heart and confesses with their mouth, he'll be saved. Not believe in my miracles or keep all these laws and stuff, but believes in me. And his own people he had trouble with. They just have trouble in this whole episode of understanding things. Now, in this next part, Big James, and they're going to come to him, and they got this question. Now, you said if we knock, you would answer. Well, we're knocking, and there's something that we would like to do because we're sold out to you, and we believe you're the man. Let's see what they got to say. Okay, here we are back. Let's check out this clip here. And the guys have kind of worked up the gumption through encouragement of their mother to ask a favor of Jesus. It's, you know, Simon's got a new name and, you know, things are moving right along and his kingdom is starting to be built that they think that's his kingdom. Let's hit the play button and see what they're talking about.
Grant for us to sit at your right hand and your left hand in your kingdom.
What does that mean?
So,
now you can see the frustration on his face. And it's kind of funny, but it's not. I mean, you know, we all have teachable moments with our children and us all being God's children. And we miss those moments, you know, and we miss some of those teachable moments when we teach our kids things and we can see it's just going right over their head and you just become frustrated. And it's not like they just hooked up last week and they just started following him. Okay. This has been going on for a little while. So let's continue on.
You don't know what you are asking. It means that when we go to Jerusalem, the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death, and they will deliver him over to the Gentiles, and they will mock him and spit on him and flog him and kill him. And after 3 days, he will rise.
What are you talking about? I thought the Son of Man was you.
And you will drink the cup that I drink, and be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized. But you do not want that now. You are not ready for it. To sit at my right hand and my left, it is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father.
You have no business asking what you did. No offense, Nathaniel, but we were here long before you.
How could you ask it?
And in front of all of us.
Ruling positions, high seats of honor.
Oh, look who's talking.
Hey, I didn't ask for it. He gave it to me.
Don't even know what the rock means.
Stop! All of you have been granted leadership and authority. All of you make up the foundation on which I'll build my church. But you are thinking like the Gentiles, whose rulers lord their authority over their inferiors. That is not how my kingdom works. I have told you this before, and you still don't get it. This has to change, because their way is not how it will be with you. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be your slave. Because even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many.
A ransom for who?
Who's being held hostage, Rabbi?
Oh, man, you know the feeling. Wow. Hey, man, look, we've all been there, and you're trying to find some of those teachable moments. And unfortunately, it just feels like, again, it's just going right over their head. For him to come to serve and not to be served, and I think that was always some of the problem with the faith there with the Jewish people. They looked for, like this king-like figure to come in golden robes and a gold crown of some sort and sit on this throne in a big palace. And it's just not what they were looking for. But they seem to miss off all the checkpoints right through their Old Testament where he fulfilled all those things, and not to be first, but to serve yourself, to save, to be last. That servants and slaves to be first. And meaning that we're all servants to him. And that, slaves and all. In the Old Testament, those references to those things, Christ come to give salvation to everybody. That's the conjecture into coming talking about the slave and the servant. He's for everybody. He's going to give them all a chance. But if you keep doing what they're doing, talking about the Gentiles, worshiping rocks and all these fables and lighting candles and all these images and things that they're worshiping, those are things that you can see. And I'm standing right here in front of you, and you're still having trouble with it. I'm standing right here. And you can't see that the Son of Man, me, that the things that's being held as ransom is your soul, your spirit. The whole ideology of what you're doing for fleshly things are only doing that or only serving man. Give Caesar what's his, but what's my Father's you give to him. Okay? And you serve me and you follow along here and use my teachings out for other people. And I'm going to leave you these things. He tells them he's going to leave it to them. He said, my Father's already made this place. And it's not for me to say whether you can go or not. I can offer you salvation, and I'm teaching you how to connect your spirit with my Father again, because I am here. I'm the Holy One to bridge that gap again. It's through me. But they're so used to people writing things in tablets and scrolls. It's just hard for them to see it. And they just cannot get the idea still, after these years that they've been traveling around together. Well, they've known each other for a long time. Like I said earlier, I mean, he's from this area. Imagine being berated by your friends saying, oh, yeah, I remember him, he was always the smart kid in class, but he says he's the Messiah. What? I don't know about that. Yeah, he used to go to temple with me. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know him. Yeshua. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What? How's he going to come and give us, what's being held hostage? But you're the Son of Man. So, and at the beginning of the first clip, they talk about him, they're worried about him going away. Like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to get along without you? And he's telling them, I'm still going to leave you these things, even after I'm gone. Even after I'm gone, I'm going to leave you these things. But the weight of all the world is going to lay on him. And I think in this next clip, this kind of sets up two things. And we'll get into it. What he's feeling at the time, not only his own anxiety that we see later on in episode 5 when he's talking to his mother. She's washing his hair and they're talking. You can also see that the hurt for the disciples. And these are people that he loved enough to pick out of this group to follow along with him. And he knows that a lot of people from here on out are going to, be stoned and beheaded and killed, all in the name of him. And still today, and in the future, there's still going to be people. We've seen it. We've seen it. So all that weight, too, of knowing that, when your children hurt, you hurt. Because we're all children of God, and he's here. And he's here to give us that peace. But he still has this hard, deep feeling in his heart to know, man, that all this, they're going to go through because of me, just being a follower of me. And people, I'm telling you here today, the truth that you're going to be persecuted for a lot of things. You're going to be put down, laughed at, mocked, and you just have to handle it in the right way. And episode 5, you watch it, you see him with the Roman's helmet on. Humility and trying to win people over in the right way. And he's trying to give them these examples, and he's preparing them for when he does go away. So let's get into this last clip here, and let's watch this, and we'll talk about it when it goes off. Man, right there, just the perfect timing, for him to come along there. You see him look up there, sometimes you think, Lord, I'm dealing with so much. Whew, man, I just need something right now. Just give me something. And he just come along at the right time. Ain't that cool? To let him know that I know who you are and what you're doing is worth it. And wow, what an awesome God we serve. And seeing him hang those rocks, one at a time and put them on there as they mash to make this olive oil, representing the blood that Christ is going to have to shed. And it's all going to be mashed out because through his blood alone is the only way that we can be saved. That's the only way we inherit heaven. So, and also, like I said, that part of the anguish that he feels, of the knowing that the things to come, not only for him, but for his disciples and for mankind in general. Whoa, I'm telling you, the truth is we're all going to have to deal with something. And each day we all do deal with something. So where's your heart at? Where do you put your faith in? Do you put it in games? Do you put it in other people? Because I promise you, people will fail you. And that's just the facts of the matter. So in ending, let's say this. If you're not sure about your salvation and you just come by the channel just to click on this to maybe the thumbnail caught your attention, you've watched through to this far, and we're only 20 minutes in. I appreciate it. I'm glad you come by, and it's not by an accident, but for a reason, just to make you curious, just to know who is this Jesus character? What is going on here? I'm really not sure about any of this. You don't have to be perfect to try to make it to Jesus. He wants you just like you are right now. We're all failures. We all make big mistakes every day, but it's about correcting those mistakes and asking for forgiveness and for Christ to be in your heart and live with you daily. That's the way we make it through these things. Was it easy? No. Again, that's the anguish he feels there. All the stuff leads up to this. And in episode 5, click on it over here at the end. The only way that they seem like they're going to learn, he's going to have to die. They're going to have to see him die and be buried and raised again on the third day. Amen. The ground and the earth quake, and the souls to walk the ground again under an eclipse, and the sheet tears down the middle in representation that man can't do anything for you. To go to the upper room, be close to God is not needed. It's me. I'm here. I'm the one. I'm him. I'm Jesus. That's what he was letting them know. So this was a good one, man. This episode 4 is really building into something, and 5 builds into more teachings and things that the disciples need to know and things that they're learning. Hey, and if you hadn't watched any of these, go back to season 1 and start. It's great. But I'll tell you, hey, in season 5, episode 5, they're going to Lazarus. Now, remember, if you're not up on Bible story stuff, he was captured and killed, and big things are about to happen. Times are changing. They're fixing to head toward Jerusalem, and on that road, many lessons will be learned as we travel on our road. And I hope y'all have a good day and enjoy yourself. If I can do anything for you, holler at me, and I'll be glad to help any way that I can. Okay? So come back and see me. I think episode 6 will be out later on in the week, and I'll try to get around to that pretty soon too. And I got 5. It's coming up right here next. Really good one, man. Episode 5, we got like 4 or 5 good topics. Some of them not caught by everybody. I'll tell you one. The bride of Christ. The rabbi's talking about that and how you compliment your bride every day. Of course you do. You don't just want to do it one day. Christ is here every day. We don't just worship him one day, not just to go and just keep their Sabbath and just worship God then, but every day. You tell your bride that she's beautiful every day. And the other one, just go over and watch. There's another good one on there. Topic is human feelings. This little clip I took out there, Jesus and his mother talking. Very good. Think you would be interested. All right. Thank y'all.